Alright, let me get this out of the way. Before the video starts, I'd like to mention that I'm not quitting Vaporwave Plaza content. Some people have got the sudden questionings that I have decided to quit Vaporwave Plaza content altogether because I haven't uploaded anything related to it in a while. And the short answer to that is quite simple. It is because there has been no sign of life coming from Vaporwave Plaza yet.
Look man, I completely forgot to make this video, and honestly, I don't blame myself for doing so, considering the fact that I had so many things on at once, and this video was such a high priority at the time, and then I forgot about it because I had like a million other things to do with, you know, other projects that I had been personally working on. So for Salem to just be like, fuck it, remasters of old maps, then I don't blame them, because these are definitely better than the originals by a long-standing chance. The only issue is that now I have to make another separate video because of this. Oh, and by the way, the original recordings I had for the still have, sorry. The original recordings I have of this new overhaul are okay. They're not the greatest, and they're a bit rushed. So I might by chance redo them or edit them in slightly different ways to make up for that. And also, I have to hastily stitch together another part that I'm going to be recording soon once the rest of Chapter 1 has been finalized by the looks of things, considering that Salon is going at a very rapid pace, updating almost every single map. And, well, by the time I finally finished that recording, a few days later, and he had already updated, like, several things. So, yeah. Yikes. Big yikes for me, am I right, lads? God, why do I keep doing this to myself?
As Salem hasn't uploaded anything about it on Discord, hasn't talked about it much, and the only time they have talked about it is this GIF here, which they've created, apparently. That's all I've read, so I'm not too sure. And as for my content specifically, well, this video will probably be the last Vaporwave Plaza video until Act 2 eventually gets released, whenever the hell that is. But with that being said, enjoy the rest of the video, because I spent ages making it, and goddamn, this writing definitely would become useful, so enjoy. You know, I feel like this would be quite obvious by now, but I'm just gonna say it out loud anyway. I've always been into weirdcore, webcore, dreamcore, you name it. Weird things that are so out of the ordinary yet still resemble things from the real world that they interested me a lot. I mean, that's probably why I made the Backrooms Revisited in the first place. It always interested me that these things can exist, that these specific core parts of reality can be split into two. I'm still very interested in these places till this day, but the one genre that I could never put my finger on was just Vaporwave in general. It always seemed odd to me, and not in a good way. I had no clue how to dissect and enjoy Vaporwave. I didn't even know what it truly meant, what its creations meant. Truly, I was at a complete loss of words. The only thing I was able to think at the time was, what on earth was this? Well, sooner or later I finally got my answers when I stumbled across a video on my YouTube recommended feed. Yeah, that's quite rare nowadays, but you know, we'll just go with it. There I was again, something to do with Vaporwave, and this time I was interested in it. Not because I wanted to know what it was entirely yet, but it was because it came from ROBLOX. A combination of the dark side of Vaporwave mixed with some light elements. This place, yeah, many of you already know its name. Vaporwave Plaza. This place, man, it was truly magic. It set out to do something different compared to all the other games on Roblox, just in general. The place was, and still is, truly unique. It was a really nice feeling to think that the game was trying to be good. It was desperately trying to surface, but to no avail. The game was barely being heard about, and only a handful of people knew what it actually was, which just destroyed my perception about the game. I had already seen some videos about it after seeing that one playthrough episode surface in my recommended, but that person never did another episode after those three. I wanted to expand on the Vaporwave Plaza. It deserved to be heard about, and I already loved the game Salem made. So without any other projects going on, without any other jobs to do, without any other plans on the school holidays that I planned this out on, I just dug in. What's up, subbot? I mean, wait, sorry, that's been used. Hello. This was it. I had started my very first recording of the game, a nearly 40-minute long video, a true testament to how I wanted to do the series so badly. The need for the original video series, I was inspired to go on, but instead from somebody else. The video's release ended up being delayed due to procrastination and fear of going back to school again, and having the project's time crunch ruined. However, I still came crawling back to edit the series. The more and more I edited the series after recording it a whole month prior, the more I started to realize that this series was becoming truly special. At first, I recorded it with the intent of getting funny moments from its weirdness and nothing more, nothing less. However, after doing more and more of the editing, I soon realized that this had turned into something completely different for the greater good. As Salem put it, it was more of video documentation than average gameplay with a monotone voice. And then it just started to click. This is the very first trailer for my new project, starting all the way back in August 2020. This is the Backrooms I visited, as you may already know, but why do I bring this up when talking about the Vaporwave Plaza? Well, this is one of many examples of how that very game influenced how I am today. The storytelling, the scenery, everything the Backrooms I visited was mostly inspired by the way Vaporwave Plaza presents itself and its story. The entire reason why I'm more confident and able to present things much easier compared to my lockdown self from the past is because Vaporwave Plaza gave me an audience to finally help me. An audience that understands everything I say and ask, one I can be finally happy with instead of the crowds of awful people I know from real life. But of course, not to say everyone in real life is bad. I know plenty of people that are now my friends that are from IRL, but the point is, I'm not very confident with people in real life. Unlike now, on YouTube and social medias where I can post something and at least one person comments saying how they like it. And man, that's all I could ever ask for. I do not care about money, and I especially do not care about fame. I just want my projects I've spent so much time and research and love into, just to be recognized for once. And in case in point, this is what motivated me to continue the Vaporwave Plaza series. This here was the entire reason I loved the game as a whole. The people involved with the project actually interact with the community, to where stuff like this actually happens. This is what I call motivation at its finest. If the creator themselves saw the video and said publicly that this made them happy, then that was enough of a reason to continue, even if I had to suffer through DaVinci Resolve's BS. And there's a lot of BS DaVinci Resolve gave me. Now, to address all those small common messages seen throughout the Vaporwave Plaza series, asking for help, questioning if I should continue on, contemplating why I should be here in the first place, suffering under DaVinci Resolve's grasp, almost no one I could find talked about those specific sections and asked if I was okay. Absolutely no one saw those messages be brought up more and more and asked why they were included in the first place. Now that I bring it up, it's pretty obvious what I'm about to do next. Why were they included? Was it a joke at the time to quickly express the depression and anger produced from editing the series? Well, if you said that, then you're very close to being correct. Just remove the joke part and you'll quickly see what it was asking from you. This series, man, it makes me scared from opening DaVinci Resolve anytime I go to edit anything. It put a permanent scar on me mentally because God knows what could happen when editing with that cursed software. The hours upon hours of things I could have been able to add into my DaVinci Resolve projects had it been nice to me to begin with, but no, obviously none of that happened. Oh boy, would you know why my edits are so bland in the series? Simple answer, really. It's because of how awful DaVinci Resolve treated me when adding f***ing edits in. Only for it to freeze, for no joke. More than 30 minutes up to an hour, only for it to crash. That's the shit that drives me crazy right there. When your own video editing software hates you so much that it crashes on you mid-editing and forces you to re-edit an entire hour's worth of content. Oh boy, then you're in for a real roller coaster of depression, my boy. Just sit here and think for a second. Go to my YouTube channel and calculate the amount of time it took in between each video's release, and you'll soon realize that I just spat out the entire reason to why my videos take so long to make. It wasn't because I had no time to work on it. Far from it. It was lockdown at the time, and editing those videos was basically easy because I had all the time in the world to do it. But the education system was awful, thus giving me more time, so that helps, but ugh, that's beside the point. It's because of the hell DaVinci Resolve gave me from off screen. Do you still think I'm making a sick joke or complaining too much? Just watch these clips I recorded on my phone of DaVinci Resolve giving me the middle finger, and you'll just soon realize what happened.
Now it finally showed at least a frame of the video that I was literally playing for like 5 seconds straight.
Despite the production of my Vaporwave Plaza videos being without a doubt an editor's hell, the game is still a masterpiece. There is no being dramatic, there's no being greedy behind the scenes. I'm not getting paid to say this, I'm not a sponsored brat or anything. All I can really say is that this is one of the best single-player slash multiplayer experiences I've ever had the pleasure to play. From the story to the presentation, everything this game offers is a real treat. It can be weird, it can be colourful, it can be confusing sometimes and extremely disturbing, but most of all, it takes you through possibly one of the most heartbreaking stories for a Roblox game. Especially when you end up in the reach-roll and start forgetting things. Sure, it's heavily inspired by Everywhere at the End of Time by the Caretaker, but honestly I think that's the best, because without the Vaporwave Plaza, I would have not only missed out on people that have similar interests in me, developed my skills and made the Backrooms Revisited, but also would have not stumbled across the most emotional and confusing albums I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. And that of course being every single Caretaker related album that's ever been released. They're all masterpieces in my opinion, but back to the point. I cannot thank all of yous for the pleasure of being here with 200 subscribers, and that's most likely going to be out of date by the time I even get this video published, let's be honest. And to you, Silent, I hope you're doing alright, because I've heard some things that you've not been doing okay recently. But if you whenever you still show up, whenever you bother to start working on Act 2, we'll wait, because it'll surely be a rememberable experience.